welcome to Seen Through Glass, and welcome to the Maserati Levante. This is a very interesting car, I think. Ever since it was launched, I've been intrigued by it. It is a 4x4, an SUV Maserati. So many brands now are doing these big cars, and this is one, as I say, I always kind of wanted to get my hands on, and thanks hugely to the guys at HRO in Maserati London, they lent me this car for the past weekend, and I've been using it in every which way I could possibly imagine. I even put a question out on Twitter saying, what would you guys like to know about the Levante? And one of you came back with a very interesting question. Why would you buy a Levante? I really like that name as like the title of like a series. Why would you buy a Lexus LFA? I think we all know why. This car in particular is the diesel Levante. We're not getting the petrol Levante in the UK until September. I'm personally a little bit more intrigued by that car because apparently it's going to have a engine that's built in partnership with Ferrari, which immediately means I'll love it. But either way, this is still a 3-litre turbocharged V6 engine, and it's a car which I think is very desirable. This particular spec is priced up at £70,000. So it's competing directly with Range Rover Sports, Cayennes, it's a bit above Macans, F-Paces, and let's face it, the world seems to be in love with 4x4 SUVs. So let's get into why would anyone buy the Maserati Levante? First things first, I do like the way the Levante looks. I think it's a bit soft from the back, but from the front, I think it's unmistakably a Maserati and very, very eye-catching, in my opinion. In addition to the good looks, I also think there's something cool about this car, just because it's a Maserati. Let's face it, almost every other car, especially in London these days, is a Range Rover or like a Porsche Cayenne or a Macan. It just is, I see so many of them. But honestly, whenever I see a Levante, which is few and far between, I'm like, oh look, Maserati Levante. And I don't think I've ever gone, oh look, Range Rover. There's just something a bit more special about them, and especially when you're driving, looking down and seeing the Maserati Trident, but also kind of saying to people, you know, they say, oh, what are you driving this weekend, or what are you driving at the moment? A Maserati Levante. Actually, you probably should like, a Maserati Levante. It makes you a little bit more, it gives you a bit more flair, which I think is a really important part of car ownership, especially in this space, because let's face it, this is just a very usable diesel 4x4 comfort. It's a people mobile, isn't it? A functional people carrier. But being a Maserati just makes it a little bit more special. So that, I have to say, is very cool and something that I really enjoy about this car. I've been lucky enough to drive a diesel Range Rover Sport, a diesel Macan, a diesel F-Pace, and honestly, I cannot knock this Maserati against any of them. It feels just as good. It feels different, but just as good. This is a very well-equipped car. The bog standard Levante is about 55 grand. This is the special edition Luxe Pack, which is like 70 odd. So I'm aware that I've got all the kit on it, but with all the kit, it's great, and I really wanted to find ways to kind of knock it down because I am a mega sort of like Range Rover fanboy. So I was like, oh, is this going to be, but it's not even the infotainment system, which I'm pretty sure is straight out of is it a Chrysler? Pretty sure it's straight out of a Chrysler. Is great, it's got everything, like, it's not very pretty, it's not very attractive, but it's got everything you could need in it, very easy to use. So this weekend, I tried to put it through as many tests as possible, this car, tried to find flaws. I was like, it can't be, like, I've got to find negative things to say about it, but I really have struggled. Firstly, I took it down to my parents' house in Wiltshire. It's like 120 miles away. I was like, okay, cool, motorway. Maybe it's going to feel a bit floaty and weird on the motorway. Nope, totally cool on the motorway. I had the cruise control on, I had the music blasting, this panoramic roof, so nice, and it's just It's really comfortable, feels very planted. It's torquey, this engine. As I say, 3-litre V6 diesel, but it's got a lot of torque, so for blasting past people who are hogging the fast lane, it's wonderful, wonderful. So that was great. Then when I got there, I was like, okay, well, I'm in the countryside now. Why don't I try and do some off-roading? And let's remember that I am from London, so off-roading is a windy street near Knightsbridge somewhere. So I think what I did was a bit of green laning and not very convincingly, but the car was totally fine. I even used off-road mode because there was a bit of mud on the road, so a bit of health and safety kicked in. I was like, off-road is required. It was great. I had like the 360 camera going. I fully admit that maybe in some more treacherous situations, it might not have handled itself that well. Can we just say, these days, a lot of these kind of like luxury SUV 4x4s are bought for this, cruising around London in comfort and style. They're not exactly used that often for off-roading, even though lots of them are very, very capable. But can I just say, look, Range Rover. Range Rover. Where are the Levantes? Special. So after my pathetic attempt at off-roading, I then also wanted to see whether our dogs liked it, because I feel like if you own a 4x4, you probably have dogs, because you need the space, right? That's why else do you need such a big car? So I tried to pile in all 4 of the family dogs into the car, and they seemed super happy. I mean, I will admit that they are all very small dogs. We only have 1 Labrador, and then 3 other dogs that are sort of handbag dogs. But they seemed to enjoy it. It seemed all pretty easy and cozy back there. So they passed that. The Levante passed that test. Another test that was passed. Then I also tried to test out the sort of dynamic performance side. Because okay, now we're on some tight and twisties. Let's see what is left of the Maserati side of this Levante. You can put the Levante in sport mode simply by clicking a button on the main console, which does unbelievably open the valves on a diesel. I couldn't believe it. The first time I put it on, I was like, the exhaust just get louder. And it does actually sound pretty awesome for a diesel. Naught to 60 is about 6.9 seconds. But as I say, for me personally, I'm not that fussed about the sort of performance or the handling dynamics in sport mode in a big diesel 4x4. But the Levante can do it if you want. I think if you're going to have a car like this, just be happy being comfortable and cruising and being able to fit lots of stuff in the back. Speaking of which, it's very comfortable back here. I mean, I'm 6'2", and that's my driving position. And now I'm sat in the back, I've got plenty of room for my legs. Nice comfy seats, super airy with this glass. Oh, I could have a little nap. However, despite all of that, despite how good this car is at every single challenge I've thrown its way, it hasn't set my world on fire. It hasn't excited me that much. And that's probably down to a lot to do with the type of car it is, a diesel 4x4. But I love diesel 4x4s. The question is, which is the title of the video, why would you buy this? And I think the only reason you'd buy it is to be a little bit different. Because you're not losing out, I don't think, personally, to a sort of a Range Rover Sport of similar spec, to a Cayenne, to a Macan, to an F-Pace. It does everything just as well. So really, the only reason to buy this is if you want to have that little bit of Italian flair, which I probably would. You know, in a really cool spec, in a dark colour, big wheels. I think it would look awesome. I think it is really eye-catching, this car. I'm super intrigued to see what the petrol version will be like, or at least what it will sound like. That one I'm very excited by. And I want to say a huge thanks to HRO in Maserati London for lending me this car for the weekend, because I literally just dropped them a note. I was like, look, is there any chance you got a car that I could borrow? I don't film that many Maseratis on my channel, and now I've had a chance to have a go in a Levante, which I wasn't sure I'd ever have a chance to have a go in, because I just don't see many around, which is a shame. Anyway, I hope you guys have found this interesting and insightful if you're in the market for a diesel 4x4. I honestly think you should consider the Levante. Go and drive one, go and check one out, see what you think. As I say, I recommend going quite high on the spec if you can afford it, because it is not, once you've got all the leathers in here, it's very nice. Anyway, give it a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it, and I'll make sure to catch up with you guys very, very soon.